Welcome back to another edition of the MMA Meltdown Radio Show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7. We're in some new digs. Mile High Sports has moved.
I got a view here.
We got a nice view of the cars.
Driving by. Pickle outside.
That guy just flipped you off.
Yeah, pizza grill.
Let's get right into it. Our man, JR Gordon. What's going on, JR?
Hey, welcome to the show, fight fans. Happy Super Bowl weekend, everybody.
Whoop, whoop.
Well, as always, on our show today, the Inked Out Buzz Block, brought to you by Inked Out Apparel. You can find them online at www.inkdout.net. Inked Out is the most involved MMA sponsor in Colorado. They have their apparel line with men's, women's, kids, and even pet clothing. Additionally, they run the Inked Out Training Center. Inked Out is a community-based charitable contributor. They have MMA gear for athletes that includes MMA gloves, boxing gloves, shin pads, mouthpieces, and rash guards. And because of all of this, we're happy to announce that for the second year in a row, Inked Out was chosen as the Best in Colorado MMA Sponsor of the Year. So congratulations to the Inked Out crew, and thank you for all that you do to help Colorado MMA. I know you guys agree with that one.
Yeah, they do a lot, so it's definitely, great to see them getting the recognition that they deserve.
No doubt about that. Well, let's jump right into it and talk about what's going on in Colorado MMA. Last night, Colorado-based UFC fighter Ed Herman won his main card bout against Clifford Starks by way of second-round submission. Congratulations to Mr. Herman on taking home the win.
Yeah, good job. It was a great card all the way around, but it was awesome to see him come away with the win.
Absolutely, hoping for big things for him in the fairly near future. Then, speaking of Colorado fighters and big shows, we now know that standout fighters Brandon Thatch and Alvin Robinson going to be competing in Canada February 25th in the Instinct 3 event. So best wishes to both of those fighters from MMA Meltdown and MMABuzz.com.
Indeed.
So, what we want to talk about today a little bit is not only are Colorado MMA fighters making big moves outside of Colorado, as we just mentioned, but promoters are as well. In Colorado, we've been fortunate enough to have had an all-female MMA event. Well, now, February 18th, 2012 in Casper, Wyoming, the Universal Fight Alliance 8 Women of MMA event is going to be put on by Colorado-based promoter Steve Alley. You guys have been to his shows. You know he always throws great events.
Yeah, the atmosphere in those places, it's fantastic. I mean, it's definitely something that he separates himself from the rest of the pack with his atmosphere.
No doubt. So we want to say congratulations to Mr. Alley on what is another MMA first for him, throwing that all-female card in Wyoming. Then we spoke just a minute ago about Inked Out being involved in community-based and charitable projects. Well, we're also proud to announce that Colorado-based fight promoter and Shark Fights heavyweight champion Bobby Lashley is getting ready to launch the Lashley Fitness Foundation. Quick little blurb about them. They have a program that's designed specifically to serve as a vehicle for empowerment of lower-income youth. They're going to try to build these kids up with confidence and discipline and give them a lifetime skill set that's necessary to be positive role models in their communities by way of engaging in fitness programs. And those programs include, but are not limited to, boxing, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, conditioning, and weight training. And we'll talk about it as it gets a little closer to the event, but right now the launch of the foundation is scheduled for February 23rd at the ATT Altitude Gym from 5 to 9 p.m. Matt, I know you at the 303 Training Center see all of this stuff happening with kids all the time and all the positive benefits that come from living a fitness-based lifestyle.
Yeah, you see a ton of benefits, anything from, self-discipline just to confidence, so it's huge that they do something like that for the kids.
Very cool, very cool. Glad to see everybody in the community stepping up. Well, we have a number of events for our fight calendar this week. We're going to jump right into it. Super busy weekend coming up. We're going to continue our community and charity-based theme for today's Inked Out Buzz Block, as our first upcoming event is Battle in the Cage, a fight for autism that is in Pueblo Friday, February 10th. The event is going to be put on by Top Shelf Productions, and main event, we're going to get to see Prentice Ingram versus Travis Sherman. Show takes place at the Pueblo Convention Center, and it starts at 7:30. So even for some of you that are getting off work a little late in Denver, you still got plenty of time to make it down to Pueblo and catch this event and support a great cause.
Yeah, that drive is definitely worth it.
Absolutely. Have a couple numbers, or number you can call for tickets, and that is 719-334-0843. One more time, that number is 719-334-0843. We're going to keep moving right along because we have another event coming up. Saturday, February 11th at the National Western Complex is the Fight to Win Tournament of Champions Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Submission Grappling Tournament. Let you guys know that you can go and get full event details at their website, which is f2wmma.com. Let everybody know that pre-registration ends today at 11:59 p.m. Denver time. Then late registration runs February 6th to the 10th at 10 p.m. Denver time. Very important note, no registration on the day of the event. So if you're planning on making it to this one, get online, get your registration in now. Then, one more time, really important, speaking of charitable actions within the MMA community, last week at the 2011 American Ground and Pound Best in Colorado MMA Awards Show, Fight to Win promoter Seth Daniels, along with the No Mercy Extreme Fighting promoter Natalie Mort, were presented with the Angels Over Rainbows Special Award for charitable contributions and humanitarian actions within the Colorado MMA community. It was one of the most special moments of the night. You guys were there. You saw it. They won this award for the fact that they did a fundraising effort and brought in over $13,000 from Colorado's MMA community in about 48 hours for the Constantinides Memorial Fund. So a really special and heartfelt thanks and congratulations to Seth Daniels and Natalie Mort.
Agreed.
Yeah, it was a super special night. Doc Alex up on stage, huge part of the event, so super cool. Glad that those guys got the recognition that they deserved.
Absolutely, very well deserved.
No doubt. Then, continuing also on Saturday, February 11th, at the Grizzly Rose is the Rocky Mountain Bad Boys and Beatdown MMA event, Cold Wars, Prelude to Glory. For this event, doors open at 1 p.m. First fight is at 2 o'clock. Then there are 2 numbers and 2 websites you can contact for information. You can call Jeff at 720-933-6147 or Keith at 720-275-7972. Websites you can go to are thebeatdownmma.com or rmbbmma.com. I'll give you guys those numbers one more time. 720-933-6147 or else 720-275-7972. Continuing with our busy weekend, Saturday night at the Colorado Springs City Auditorium is the No Mercy Extreme Fighting Annihilation 38 event. For this show, doors are going to open at 6:30. Fights are going to start at 7:30. Main event features Gilbert Smith versus Michael Riggs, and we've got tickets available at King Soopers, Ticketswest.com, or ColoradoMMA.com. Whew, deep breath, guys. Holy cow, what a busy time we have coming up in Colorado MMA.
You got your inhaler ready, buddy?
Oh, man, tell me about it. And so with all that having been said, next week we're going to have results from all of the events, as well as shows that are coming up the following week. So what a tremendous time to be an MMA fan in Colorado. There's just, multiple events every weekend, jiu-jitsu and grappling tournaments going on. Could not ask for more as an MMA fan. Plus, we get to sit down on Friday and Saturday nights and watch our favorite fighters on fight in the UFC and some of those other bigger shows.
Yeah, it's definitely a crazy time. Like we always say, Colorado, what a great place for you, MMA.
No doubt about that. Well, one thing I want to mention before we get off the air today, gentlemen, is I want all of our fans to check out www.MMAmeltdown.us. Website's been revamped. Very cool. It's a really nicely done site. People are going to go there, get all their Colorado MMA information, so please be sure and check that out. Thank you, guys. Enjoy the Super Bowl weekend, and I'll leave us by saying we are Mile High Sports.
Thanks, JR. Thanks for being patient. Have a good day. Man, what a show we got today. We still got tons of tickets to give away, so if you're a fight fan, you want to attend some shows, make sure you're paying attention. This next segment we got coming up, we're going to give away some shows. We got the Mardi Gras Brawl main event, Cameron Dollar and Justin Houghton coming on. But you are tuned in to the MMA Meltdown radio show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7. All right, we're back. A little bit more composed. Jay Merck had me running down these crazy streets with 2 minutes and nothing left. I was gassed. That was my cardio for the week.
Seriously, we're at 35 yards. I thought I was going to have to throw you on my back.
I know. We had Christian over here playing Grateful Dead's greatest hits for an hour, thanks to you.
Hey, what can I say?
It is what it is. Man, I can't wait. Like I was saying a little bit earlier before we went to break, Justin Houghton's coming on. Cameron Dollar's coming on. We got a bunch of tickets to give away. We got tickets to give away to the Cold Wars card. Here, Rocky Mountain Bad Boy and the Beatdown. I believe that's going to be at Grizzly Rose, right? You think?
Yep. Yeah.
And then we got February 24th card, Mardi Gras Brawl. Actually, the card Justin Houghton and Cameron Dollar are the main event for.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they're going to decorate the venue for that one.
Yeah.
Seth usually goes all out for that.
That's going to be nuts. All I want to know or make sure is that you keep your shirt on all night. I don't want to see you flashing people.
It depends how many beads I can get.
I'll chuck them at your face so hard if I see a nipple. Man, but it's just crazy this month coming up here. You know, JR was kind of talking to it a little bit earlier. You know, you and I kind of talk to it all the time. I mean, Colorado is a great place to live if you love MMA. I mean, we got...
Yeah, and all that talking, and he didn't even mention the most important fight coming up next week.
Yours is in Jersey, bro.
So what? He talked about a fight in Canada. I thought me and JR were BFFs.
Dang,
they didn't even mention it.
You left Jay Merck out? Hey, but you're not going to Canada.
Going to New Jersey.
You're going to Jersey. Have you been to Jersey?
Best state in the union.
I heard there's not a whole lot of touristy kind of stuff out there.
It's a garden state. Come on.
Like Canada. I mean, I'll go to Canada just for the bacon.
Oh, come on. Have you ever had the food on the East Coast?
Have you ever had food on the East Coast?
Hoagies, pizza.
Say New Jersey, because you're trying to group in Jersey with all of the East Coast. Like, Jersey got the great food that Miami
New Jersey,
has.
What? Miami?
They're saying East Coast.
I'm talking about the Northeast, the pizza, the cheesesteaks.
You're going crazy on me right now. I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
Colorado doesn't even have good food.
You know how you know how I know you're fighting next week? Because you're talking about food on an MMA show.
The day of my weigh-ins last time, I was watching the Food Network all day.
You want to smell Christian's breath? He had some good lunch. That's his thing, Christian. He likes to smell people's breaths before fights.
He had a sandwich from the spicy pickle.
That'd probably give him an edge. He could probably kick some butt then.
Yeah, an edge. Who we got on the line, Christian? Jewel, what's going on?
What's happening, guys? What's going on?
Just hanging out, buddy.
What's up?
No, I'm just hanging out. I saw I'm trying to win some free tickets.
Yeah, you want the medium question or the hard question? Remembering that the harder question is probably going to get you the nicer tickets.
Oh, man. We're going to go with the hard question.
Oh, the hard question, Jay Merck. What do you got for him, buddy?
Who did Matt Hughes lose his welterweight title to?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Matt Hughes, he was the welterweight champion. Who did he lose his title to?
Oh, God. Good God. Was it GSP?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Look at this guy. Christian, get Jewel's information. Jewel, you got you two free tickets to the Mardi Gras Brawl. February 24th.
Hell yeah.
Fight
Heck yeah, sorry. Woo.
No, you're good. You're good, buddy. Did you watch the fights last night?
Hell yeah. What's that?
Did you watch the UFC fights last night?
I missed them. I was working.
Oh, man. You missed Big Country getting worked.
You got to take off work when there's UFC on.
Oh, man. I'm going to have to now.
No more using sick days because you're sick. You got to use your sick days for when you're healthy and you're well enough. That way you don't go to work with a hangover.
I don't drink. Plus, there's no sick days in the tattoo business.
Oh, there you go. Okay. There it is. All right, Joel. Appreciate you calling in, man. Enjoy the show.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks a lot, guys.
Man, there's winner one. We still got 3 more pairs of tickets to give away.
I gotta come up with some harder questions.
Yeah, that was weak sauce.
Well, I'm still scarred by Dr. Alex and Ryan's contest where they both just kept striking out on all the questions.
Yeah, you're a little fearful that kind of thing's going to happen again?
Yeah. I don't want to scare off all the guests.
Yeah, it's all right.
Calling in.
Right.
Humiliate.
Last night's event was crazy. I mean, the Condes Diaz fight.
Condes. Carlos Condes.
I'm still reaming from that run we had, bro. I'm like, I need my inhaler, my son's Neb machine. But Carlos Condit, I kind of look at the way he won, and he did a great job of executing his game plan. He kept out of Diaz's range, and he really didn't want anything that Diaz had in terms of exchanging. But if Condit fights like that against GSP, knowing that GSP fights in a similar fashion, I mean, that could very well be a very boring fight.
Yeah, but I don't think he had the same game plan. I thought he executed a really good game plan, and the fact that people are getting angry is weird to me. Like they expected him to fight exactly the way that Nick Diaz wanted him to fight.
Yeah, I'm not mad. I'm not mad that he won.
No, not you. Just reading the message boards and Facebook and Twitter, it's like people are pretty going angry. Crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
But I mean, he showed great skill, and I think it'll be interesting against GSP because GSP's not going to charge forward and just try to box. GSP will try to use his wrestling, so I think we'll see more of a ground battle.
Are we going to see a more aggressive GSP?
I hope so.
Because originally when Condit was supposed to fight GSP, we thought that was the match that, or that would have been the opponent to draw that aggressiveness back out of GSP, and we haven't seen him go hard in how long?
Yeah, I mean, that's the $1 million question is what GSP will show up with, a conservative, safe guy or the guy that kind of ran through everyone to become the champion in the first place, so.
Yeah, I mean, tactics definitely do have to change, I guess, when you're at that level. When you
got $1 million contracts with Under Armour and Gatorade, probably puts a little more pressure on you.
Yeah, that's crazy. We should talk about that a little bit later too, because I mean, at these different levels, from the amateur to the entry level pro to the mid level pro to a guy like GSP, I mean, everybody has different tactics and different reasons for fighting. But when you're at that level, I mean, you kind of abandon a lot of stuff that got you there. I mean, you kind of play it safe.
Yeah, I mean, when you're coming up and you're just a hungry fighter and you're dreaming of one day cashing in, you're just looking to get out there and run over people. When you have it and you have it all and you're worried about losing it, it's a little harder to fight with that same reckless abandon. So
I agree. And we got JR on the line, Christian. Is it JR, Gordon?
Hey, guys.
JR.
What's up, gentlemen? Hey, I
just wanted to throw
my cheesy announcer voice and say, don't forget, tune in next week. We'll be talking about Jared Mercado fighting New Jersey.
Don't stroke his ego, JR.
There we go. Hey, I'm trying to take any ego bump I can get.
Dude, we wish you the best. I look forward to reporting on your win. And after you win your fight, grab hold of that guy that was talking smack about your fight and get him in the cage with you, too, buddy.
He's fighting on the same card, so I'm going to call him out.
That's going to be a bit interesting.
I like it. I'm looking forward to reporting on your win, dude.
Thank you, JR.
All right, see you guys.
See? Now,
all right, we're back to BFFs again.
Good job, JR. We appreciate that, buddy.
Hurt there.
This kid was pouting in here like nothing. JR forgot me. He forgot about me.
No love.
You're so sensitive. You know who's not sensitive? Big Country.
Man,
that dude took a beating.
Tough. If someone ever need me that hard, I'd just tap out.
See the one that caught him on the bridge of his nose?
Yeah.
That dude just kept moving forward.
That was brutal. I'd be upset. Like, can one of these just knock me out, please? Because I don't want to get hit like that anymore.
Now, Dana White's kind of questioning his longevity in the career. I mean, obviously he's a tough guy. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but and he had surprisingly a lot of momentum coming into this fight. But this loss kind of making everybody second guess his ability to win.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think he's a good heavyweight. He's a very solid fighter. He just can't.
Then he might drop down weight now.
I don't think that's a good idea. I mean, I think that 205 is a much tougher weight class. I think the guys are better athletes, more skilled. I don't see any reason for anyone to drop down from heavyweight to 205 unless they're, incredibly undersized.
How awesome was it to actually see two Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, two ground guys, two guys that love to grapple, just stand up and bang like that? I mean, it was the best fight of the night. Yeah, it was impressive. I
mean, Verdum showcased some serious Muay Thai skills from the clinch, landing those knees. I was actually pretty surprised when he took Big Country's back very early on in the fight. And Verdum's a world champion on the ground, and Big Country worked his way out of it, so that was very impressive.
Quick too, he didn't take too much time.
No, that was nice. But yeah, it was a pretty entertaining fight.
Yeah, I mean, the leg kicks were there. What was it? A front kick Did you see the front kick that he caught where Big Country like partially caught it, looked like, and then...
But I mean, I don't understand what people think would happen. Do you think if Big Country went down, he'd be a test for John Jones? I think John Jones would destroy Big Country.
I don't know, bro. I think MMA is one of those games where it's like, or one of those sports where it's different styles match up against different styles differently. I mean, I don't think that Big Country per se would be able to handle John Jones, but is he ever going to get to the championship title where he's at right now?
No, I don't see him as a championship fighter, regardless of what weight he's.
So that's what I'm saying.
But there's a lot more depth at 205, and like I said, I think he can beat most of the guys at heavyweight, but he can't beat the top 5-6 guys. So I think it's a nice place to be at. If he was at 205, I don't think he'd be anywhere near the top 10.
Yeah. Did you guys see the prelims when Figueroa got hit twice in the?
That was a good fight.
Yeah,
Bruce Leroy came to play. I mean,
he got hit in the groin and then rolled 20 times across the cage.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Pretty painful.
I like to do that down hills at the park. It's a blast. But yeah, that dude got kicked in the junk twice. If it wouldn't have been for that, Bruce Leroy would have definitely won.
And the first one, you heard it. It hit so flush, it made me cringe,
it was
man.
Hilarious.
That actually brings up a good point, though, because there were some weird inconsistencies. Herb Dean warned him after the first one and then took two points away, which I've never seen in MMA. I mean, I heard some people reference some boxing matches where it's happened a couple times, but it's very unusual for that to happen. And then in the Koscheck fight, he warned him once for the eye poke, and then he poked him in the eye again later in the fight, and he warned him again. So it's kind of weird, like, are you going to take a point away from someone, or are you going to take 2 points?
It might just be because I'm a guy, but I think getting kicked in the junk twice that hard it deserves.
But regardless, it's a foul. You got to have some consistency.
There's no room for reasoning in this room right now. You hear me? You got kicked in the junk twice. He should have raised his hand up right there and just fight for the fun of it now. I mean, you guys.
I actually still had Bruce Leroy winning the fight even with the 2-point deductions because I had him winning every round.
Yeah.
And I scored it 28-27.
It was kind of frustrating to see Bruce Leroy getting so many advantageous positions on the ground and not be able to finish him. I mean,
he needs to work on it. He's very good at taking the back.
He should have just switched to a crank.
Well, it wasn't even just that. He wasn't getting proper control the gable grip underneath the arm. He kept locking up the rear naked choke like across the jaw. I was like, man, you gotta adapt and make a couple changes there instead of continuing to try the same position over and over without any success.
I think, when it came into the third round, that the mindset of Bruce Leroy should have been to take it to the ground and choke him out, because I don't think he could have possibly had a realistic, opportunity to win that fight after those 2 points were taken away. In his mind, I mean, you kind of got to get 2 points taken away in the second round and go out there thinking that I have to knock this dude out or choke him out.
Yeah, I mean, and he did get to the ground. I think he had his back in every round. So
at one point, but it wasn't consistent.
He just needs to work on the actual finish from there.
And another pair of guys that I was looking forward to maybe seeing a little bit of grappling is Josh Koscheck and Mike Pierce. Josh Koscheck just kind of edging out a unanimous decision, a little bit more active in the late round to kind of take that. In my eyes, I really didn't see him doing anything to dominate the fight.
I actually think the fight probably should have went to Pierce.
Yeah.
I think Pierce got the better of the striking. Koscheck got the takedowns, got 2 takedowns, but he didn't do anything with them. I'm a wrestler. Obviously, I'm always supporting the importance of takedowns, but if I take you down and I don't land any punches, don't improve position, and you're back up within 10, 15 seconds, I don't really see any reason to score that. But I think, I gave the third round to Koscheck and Pierce probably the first 2. It was a very close fight, as you said, and I think Pierce probably just landed a few more hard shots.
I think one common theme that's reoccurring after some of these UFC fights is that it's always been known you don't let it go to the judges.
It's kind of a cliche that drives me crazy, though, because when you're evenly matched with someone, what are you supposed to do? How do you not let it go to the judges? It's not that easy to just
train harder.
Finish someone.
Just get it done.
Finish him.
I don't want to hear you coming back from Jersey saying you went to a split decision.
I don't want that either.
Are you evenly matched with this guy?
No, I'm better.
Let's be realistic about it right now.
Training's been terrible. Not feel very confident going into the fight.
That's what we want him to hear.
I don't see how I can win.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be a good time, man. You're going to come back from Jersey with another victory under your belt. I definitely want to see video of you calling that dude out, because that was ridiculous.
I hope he wins. Bring it, Chef Lens.
Is he in the same weight class?
Yeah.
But you have to make that fight.
Remember, he said he'd fight me on a day's notice without training at all.
And this promoter's pretty easy going, too, in terms of letting you fight. I mean, he lets you go to this Last Fight to Win promotion, the Paramount card, and then fight on his card. So hopefully we'll try to work something. We need to get that kid over here to Colorado, then.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
He's on the Ultimate Fighter, so that'd be a nice little stepping stone win for me, too.
Yep. Well, coming up next, we got Justin Houghton on the show, going to talk to us about his title fight against Cameron Dollar. This is the MMA Meltdown Radio Show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7.
We saw the flag before Rocket saw the flag. We are Mile High Sports.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, buddy. Welcome back to the MMA Meltdown Radio Show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7. Finally starting to get my composure. Breathing a little heavy still. Got my boy Jay Merck here.
Still sweating.
That was the Tai Bo I was doing before I came in here. It takes a minute for that.
It's a good workout.
Heat. In the house, my boy J-Ho. Justin Houghton.
Oh, come on.
I know. We got a call, too, trying to correct that. So I apologize, Justin Houghton.
For all Justin's fans out there, I just want you to know Matt can't even pronounce my last name.
I can't pronounce my last name half the time.
Been together quite a while now. This guy has issues.
Yeah. See how he is, Justin? He always tries to downplay my talent. How minimal it is, he always tries to minimize that. So you're coming into a fight against Cameron Dollar. Title fight, right?
That is correct.
Mardi Gras Brawl, February 24th. Jewel just won a ticket, free pair of tickets to that. How big is this fight for you? I mean, it's kind of an assumption there, but I mean, really.
Man, I've always said that my next fight's my biggest fight of my career. So this case is definitely true with a UFC veteran and high-level guy like Cameron Dollar. I'm just excited for the opportunity to find out where I stand and hopefully get this title and showcase my skills to Denver.
Now, you're a grudge guy, right?
That is correct.
So obviously, you know, Jay Merck, your teammate of Jay Merck here, we obviously know your stand-up is on par. You know, Paulino and Trevor Whitman down there are awesome stand-up coaches. Ground game, you know, Cameron Dollar is a submission technician.
Yeah, he's like a high-level brown belt. He's a stud. I've watched a lot of film on him and know quite a few guys that's competed against him and whatnot. So definitely got to respect him in all assets of the game, honestly. Yeah. So.
Well, speaking of grudge, I mean, Alvin Robinson's down there, right?
Yeah.
You know, they've had a good fight. They've had a fight that a lot of people want to see a rematch of. So, I mean, that's got to be a little bit of an advantage for you, right? You've been training with guys who have been in there with him?
Yeah, absolutely. Know how he feels. He's definitely strong, big 45er, as myself. I got a lot of high-level guys, you know, like with the ground game. Been working my wrestling a lot. We got Jay Merck over here, who's boss status, man. We have a lot of D1 wrestlers in there that are just unbelievable. And
can you stop his double legs?
You know,
see? The hesitation means that it can happen.
He's being respectful.
He's not being respectful.
I think that's the key to this fight. I mean, Cameron is a great fighter, very good on the ground, good wrestling, but you know, Justin's got the great striking, but the thing that makes Justin unique is his footwork. He's really hard to track down. I mean, you know me, I like to stalk people down and shoot my double leg, and it's really hard to do that with Justin because his footwork is so good. You know, and you get frustrated, start chasing him, then he starts socking you up. So I'm interested to see what Cameron's game plan will be to try to close that distance. So.
And again, obviously, once you heard that you were going to be fighting Cameron, what adjustments did you make to your training camp just in preparation of a ground game, a grappling match this could turn into?
Well, I haven't missed any wrestling practices and been fine-tuning my skills, you know. Not a lot of people know, you know, I had quite a few fights as an amateur and came out here to grudge and was a little behind scale. I felt like, you know, I was a stud in Michigan. I had like 5 amateur titles and like 3 different weight classes. I thought I was a man and came out here and realized that there's just a whole different caliber ball game out here and super excited for the opportunity. The Grudge brothers and Trevor gave me the opportunity and now I'm kind of emerging and feeling solid all around. So
yeah, I wanted to talk about that because some people may not know you. I mean, especially a gym like Grudge, there's so many guys in UFC and everything. You're kind of one of the hidden gems at Grudge. Tell us about you mentioned you're from Michigan. Did you come out here specifically to train at Grudge, or what was the process there?
Absolutely. I boxed back in the day, and Trevor. I used to work with Trevor. I was a railroader, and I used to come out here, and in my off days, I would train with Trevor, and I just stayed in touch with him as he made the transition from boxing with Nate and Dwayne and all those guys.
What is a railroader?
Man, it's just, I worked for the railroad, and I was traveling like all across the nation. I'd have like 8 days on, and then I'd have 8 days off. And so a few times I was out here all the way from Michigan to Denver, and so I trained all around the nation, and I honestly can say that I feel like Grudge Training Center is the best place in the entire nation. And I definitely like.
How did your family take that? Your mom gets mad when we mispronounce her name, so I didn't.
Yeah, she called in.
Don't mess with mom.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Hogan. I apologize.
Exactly. They all got my back. You know, I kind of got the city on my back. Like, I love where I come from, the 517. So, you know, this fight's personal. Just like for Michigan, there's not a lot going on in Michigan. You know, we're suffering. I mean, the depression's everywhere, but our economy has got to be the worst. I think it's something like 48% are working in Detroit. You know, I mean, it's terrible, and I'm just blessed that I'm able to use my athleticism to get a paycheck and have fun doing it, you know. So
and you and Jay Merck have similar backgrounds in the sense that Jay Merck is from Jersey, you're from Michigan.
So you're both there.
You're both from out of state. Don't make me break it down for you like that. But you know, Jay Merck, I hear him talking about this all the time. Is in terms of fan base, you know, a lot of guys from Colorado favorites, they have a huge following. I mean, these are kids that had friends that they went to school with, you know, family members, cousins, aunties, uncles, sisters kind of thing. And you come into it, you know, from out of town, maybe not as big of a following as a local guy. How do you kind of deal with that? I mean, does it make any kind of a difference to you not having as big of a support system here as maybe your opponent does?
You know, my first fight, I think I sold around 80 or 90 tickets. When I came out here, I was blessed to get an opportunity to work for Fudokan in Littleton. It's a great spot. We got jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, karate, all sorts of martial arts over there. They support me tenfold. Also, I work at LA Boxing of Westminster, and I'm kind of a witty guy. I like to talk trash to a lot of people and have fun and pick people's brains about different things, and I've kind of established a lot of relationships out here. I think my last couple of fights, I've been well over 100 tickets, so man, I feel so blessed.
That's my problem. I'm not funny, so I can't sell any tickets.
You're not very funny, bro. You're not good looking.
I don't think I've sold 100 tickets for all my fights combined. So.
Nice.
Well, I think that could have something to do with Seth giving me this opportunity. You know, I want to find out where I stand, and that's kind of my leverage. You know, I was 4-0, but you know, I was 11-0 as an amateur, so
he's got the great tan.
That's
striking skills.
Did you see this kid's fake tan?
Gotta stay fly, man.
Did you see this dude's fake tan that he had?
It lasted for like a half an hour.
It was the weakest, fakest tan ever.
What, you got a spray tan, Jay?
Yeah.
I did. Didn't go well.
So you're a witty guy, huh? You like to talk trash. Now, is this something you do with opponents or just in general with the guys at the gym?
Oh, just guys.
Because you know we got Cam on next.
Yeah, we can get him on.
Cameron's
get a little
on next.
banter going back.
Yeah.
You know, I don't talk crap ever, like pre-fight, post-fight, none of that stuff. I'm all about respect, you know. That's just how I am. I don't know. I'm not scared to, but I definitely respect Cameron everywhere where this fight goes, and I'm excited for the opportunity to fight a UFC veteran. He's a champ, you know. He beat, you know, what I call one of my coaches, Alvin Robinson. Granted, Alvin was a little sick there for that fight or whatnot, you know. I don't know. It's controversial or whatever, but he's a stud, man. There's nothing I can say bad about the dude. I'm just looking forward for an opportunity to find out where I stand and showcase my skills out here in Denver, and I've been working my whole life at this, so it's that time.
For sure, you're undefeated as a pro. This is obviously a big step up for you, you know, in terms of name recognition of the opponent.
Yeah.
You know, where does a win put you, and you know, how do you think that fast tracks your career? Or are you going to try to stay, you know, continuing to fight locally, or have you even thought that far yet?
You know, I go one fight at a time. I feel like this fight would definitely catapult me in several different ways. You know, as Cam's a nationwide competitor, and like I said, UFC veteran and whatnot. So he's got a lot of hype behind his name, and especially here in Colorado, being a native of Colorado Springs. So I don't know where it goes. I take it one fight at a time. I guess if, you know, depending on how this fight finishes, that would definitely be a variable, you know, as to how far I could catapult or whatnot. So
fight night, lights go dim. What kind of music you like to hear to get you pumped up? What are you going to walk out to the cage to? Britney Spears?
Close.
What was that dude? What did that last dude walk out to at the Paramount?
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift. You see,
he lost though.
It's a new trend.
No, that was my man. What's that dude from Wild Man? He walked out to Miley Cyrus. That's
Miley Cyrus.
Same thing.
He's wild for sure. Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Country boy can't survive.
Country boy can't survive.
He can survive.
Hank
Williams Jr.
Are they country boys in Michigan?
You know, it's a good mix, you know.
You say you're from Detroit. No, being a country boy.
I'm not from Detroit, you know. I'm from Eaton Rapids, Michigan.
Oh, you're from the he's from the rich part of Michigan.
No.
Oh, he's all 8 Mile hood on it. Nothing like that.
No.
You weren't hanging out with Eminem in the trailer parks, nothing like that.
Not even close.
J-Ho's crazy. Man, J-Ho, I mean, this is a huge fight for you. The card is huge. I mean, Seth and Fight to Win is coming off an outstanding show J. Merck was a part of here at the Paramount. Now to follow it up with the Mardi Gras Brawl. I mean, the entire card is going to be legit. Next week's show, we're going to feature a dual interview, the first live one that we're going to do, and we're actually going to have Robert Martinez and Chris Holland on the air at the same time. So it's going to be interesting there, but it's a huge card. Was there any sponsors or anything you wanted to thank?
Yeah, first off, I want to thank the Grudge Training Center. You know, Jared over here, he's got a fight in a couple weeks. We got a ton of my teammates.
Yeah, it seems like everyone has a fight.
Everyone's fighting, so, you know, we're just pushing each other. The camaraderie in the gym right now couldn't be higher, you know. I have several sponsors that I would like to thank.
He's breaking out the binder. The binder over here.
Yeah, so.
That's when you know you're getting good sponsors.
You know about your business right there.
Write it all down.
My last few fights, I've been at 50 or 55. I just kind of been taking what I could get. But for this fight, I took on a nutritionist. Jeff Cisneros with Rock Hard Nutrition has helped me a ton. I'm linking up with him in Fresh Fit Meals, cutting down to 45, you know, as a title fight. You don't give you a lot of weight. And then Inked Out just jumped on board with me. So big ups to the guy at Inked Out. Big things 2012, hopefully. I want to thank Rush Automotive and Towing, Phantom 8 Tattoos. I obviously said my employers, Fudokan and LA Boxing. They've always been with me. Quan, Rev Gear. And I'm going to be having an after party.
Nice.
So at the Tilted Kilt downtown 16th Street Mall. So anyone that wants to come have some fun, I'd love to meet you.
Nice. J. Merck will be there. You be there, J. Merck?
Of course
he would be there. He does autograph.
He
does his own autograph sessions. Like he comes through with his little those dinner tables you eat in the front room with.
I saw him on Facebook. Real quick title belt.
That's right.
Real quick.
World champ. No, I wanted to talk about the matchup. We still got 2 minutes with Justin. I want him to break down how the fight, you know, is going to play out, at least, you know, his game plan or how he sees it in his mind.
You know, obviously, no fighter can say they don't get nervous or excited or worried or any of that stuff. But every time I see it playing through, you know, I just see myself getting in good spots and doing a lot of damage. Like you said earlier, I'm blessed with some athleticism. I have great footwork. So I want to exploit, you know, moving at different angles. I have with my wrestling and whatnot, I'm not like a huge, powerful guy, but with my speed, I'm able to get in quick on doubles, and I'm working a lot on controlling my position. So I just feel like, you know, I'm ready wherever this fight goes. I can see it going the distance, or I can see it, you know, ending early. It's just, I mean, it's a fight. It's so hard to predict, but I know that I'm going to do whatever it takes to get my hand raised, and that's what's going to happen. So
for sure. One last question. You mentioned you're working with Fresh Fit Meals, Rock Hard Nutrition. You know, you make weight. It's the day after the fight. You're celebrating your victory. What is the post-fight meal?
He wants to smell.
You've been on a 700-calorie diet. Yeah. Now we're thinking of a 7,000-calorie meal.
Man, since we're not big on green chili back home in Michigan. Since I came to Denver, man, that's my downfall. I love me some green chili. I frequent this place called Mercedes. I like real hot green chili and whatnot. So I'll probably get a huge breakfast, Mexican style, and probably a couple cervezas.
Cervezas for breakfast. Can't be like that.
Let's celebrate, baby.
Yeah, after that much work, and you know, I don't know how many. I mean, obviously us, you know, being as deep as we are in the community here, MMA community, we understand that it's not just fight night. Like there's like 6 to 8 weeks leading up to the fight that you guys just put everything else on hold. Yeah, you dedicate your life to just training and simply training. So I mean, for you to be able to have a couple cervezas after breakfast, you know, or for breakfast after 8 weeks of HE double hockey sticks, and it's going to be legit. Jay Merck, I don't know if you know this about your teammate. You might have spotted him doing it around the gym. But he actually goes through a point where he just smells everybody's breath after they eat, though. It has to be after they eat.
Yeah. If Matt's got cookies, he's got a handful of cookies in his
it's his way of calling him fat.
I like to smell his breath when he's got a chocolate chip.
You got any strange rituals like that?
Nothing to do with that. I love
wear
just
your
relaxing.
socks backwards, nothing.
When I'm depleting and not feeling so good, I like to kick back and watch TV. And then 9 out of 10 times I end up throwing my remote at the wall because everything is food oriented, you know. Every commercial is just.
How easy is it for you to be irritated at something when you're at that point? 2 days before weigh-ins, and not even 2 days. Let's just say the morning of weigh-ins.
I mean, I'm irritated right now. I'm not gonna lie.
He's like, I gotta push this button to get in the bathroom. I need a key to get upstairs to the radio station.
This is nice up here, man. You guys got a beautiful setup up here.
Your location is legit.
It is.
Actually, could see our producer.
Of course,
you should have seen the old place, man.
Oh yeah,
it was all right. It was at Altitude Sports, but they got a ping pong table. I'm gonna rip Jared up with here at the end of that.
I'm an excellent ping pong player, so you don't want to come at me.
You know, the Broncos aren't playing in the Super Bowl. I absolutely can give two cares about the Super Bowl.
Was that English?
No.
What just happened there?
I was borderline belligerent there. So if you want to hang out, you know, Cam's coming up next, J-Ho.
I got a pretty good backhand on that ping pong table.
So I thought you were saying you're going to backhand Cam.
I got that too.
That's the way to get it going. That's how we start off this next interview.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
It's been a blast. It was overdue, 4-0. A lot of huge prospects coming out of Colorado right now. J-Ho's one of them. Jay Merck, he's not quite at that prospect point.
Wow.
But, when he starts or has to stop paying for his own plane tickets, and he can say that he made it.
When I land my first punch, we know I made it.
Yeah, right? The fake jab to the double leg. I'll take the fight on 2 days' notice if the round is 20 seconds.
His elbow still got blood on it.
Right? All right, man. We're coming up next, we got Cameron Dollar. This is the MMA Meltdown Radio Show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7. Welcome back to the MMA Meltdown Radio Show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7. My boy Jay Merck right here dropping his phone everywhere, tossing it.
That's why there's 50 cracks on this screen.
You got a legitimate anger issue. Like, I would think that somebody who's involved in so much training and exercise.
I have no anger.
That you would be less.
I just am clumsy and drop my phone all the time.
Man, how many domestics you got?
I drop my phone at least once a day.
I believe it.
That's on a good day.
All right, you just heard us talk to Justin Houghton. Right now we got Cameron Dollar fighting Houghton here on February 24th for the title on Fight to Win's Mardi Gras Brawl. What's going on, Cam?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Just hanging out, man. Looking at this spicy pickle, Powerball, and ping pong table we're about to hit up after this show. That's a lot to take in. I apologize if I hit you with that all at once.
You just confused them. I was confused by that.
You there, Cam?
Yeah, I'm here, man.
All right, buddy. So Justin Houghton was just on the show. Did you get a chance to catch his segment?
No, I didn't, man. I'm sorry.
No, man. He's very respectful. He's got nothing but great things to say to you. But, I mean, this is a fight. I mean, you're coming into this fight. Your last victory or your last appearance in a Fight to Win card was a victory over J-Ho's teammate, Alvin Robinson. I mean, how big is this fight for you to get your momentum back?
It's not. I don't know. It's just a fight's a fight. I wouldn't say it's a big one. I don't really know who Justin's fought. He's undefeated, but I don't really see very many big names on his record as far as who he's fought. So, if anything, I feel like he's trying to make a name off me. I'm the one that's got to defend the belt against him. So.
Is there any added motivation when you're facing a fighter who thinks of you as a stepping stone?
Oh, yeah, for sure. There's definitely more motivation knowing that he's coming from Grudge and trains with Alvin Robinson and all those guys. So, oh, yeah, there's definitely motivation.
You mentioned, Matt mentioned, him using you as a stepping stone. Does that ever bother you? I felt at one point there was like 10 different guys on Facebook calling you out for a fight. Do you ever feel like, you're not getting your respect, or do you look at that as a sign of respect that so many people in Colorado want to fight you?
No, it doesn't really matter to me. It's just, I've paid my dues. I've fought plenty of people. I fought Alvin. It was funny because Alvin was getting all this promotional stuff and all this, limelight and whatnot when him and I were getting ready to fight about how if he beat me, he'd be back in the UFC and this and that. And, I kind of put a dampener on all that stuff when I beat him. And it was just funny because I didn't, after all that was done, all the people that wanted interviews with him and the people that wanted to talk to him, I didn't get one single interview after the fight was said and done with. I didn't get any recognition at all. And if anything, it was funny because they were saying that he still won the fight. He fought me when he was sick and this and that, and every excuse came out of the book after the fight was done and over with.
Have you or your management talked to the UFC at all? I mean, you mentioned how Alvin was potentially going to get that shot again if he beat you, but now you had that win. You fought several times since then. Have you had any idea from the UFC on how many more wins you need to put together to get back there?
Well, I did talk to Joe Silva a couple times before and was told, you win this amount of fights, we'll bring you back. But it's a real big political game in the UFC, and that's why I've signed with new management since then. I'm now working with Alchemist MMA, Lex McMahon. He manages Nate Marquardt and Brendan Schwab and a lot of the bigger name guys and stuff in the UFC. He was out there last night with the Wonder Boy, who I can't remember who he fought, but he kicked that dude in the face and
that was pretty crazy
with a head kick. And
that was awesome.
I'm looking forward to working with him and bigger things happening, because I really believe that management does play a huge role in the fight game. I fought Carlo Prater, lost to him, and he was just on one of the last UFC cards. I fought Tom Hayden to get in the house when I was on the show, beat him. They brought him back into the UFC. He was just on one of the fight cards. A lot of people that I've fought and been with, they all in the UFC, but for some reason I haven't got my chance yet, but I feel that it's there.
Now, Cam, we kind of talk about or you were mentioning a little bit earlier about the lack of respect you feel you're getting, maybe not just from media, but just in the industry itself. Is that chip on your shoulder, or is that mind frame something you use in your training just to kind of get beyond that, or is it something that's really hindering your career at this point? Are you just hearing too many negative things about you right now?
No, man, I wouldn't say I'm hearing too many negative things or anything like that, or that I have a lack of respect, because really I don't care how people look at me. I'm just me. You're either going to hate me or you're going to love me, and I do feel that I'm looked at more as the young, maybe immature kid who might be, bad for the scene or whatever, almost looked at as like one of the Diaz's or like a Koscheck or something, which is totally fine. It doesn't bother me at all, you know what I mean? Everybody's got their opinion and their outlook. But I'm just doing me, doing what I need to do and doing what I love.
Now, speaking about doing you, I mean, you're a submission expert, and I think it's 7 pro wins by submission. Is that about right?
Probably. Honestly, I don't keep track, but yeah, I do. I got a lot of wins by submission, a lot more wins by submission than I do, knockout or anything like that.
Now, you've been to the level, and the reason why I asked that is because you've been to the level where you do get the ability to prep for an opponent. You do get the ability to come up with some type of a loose game plan. I understand there's not a lot of fighters who try to follow that game plan 100% during the entire course of the fight. But you say you haven't heard of J-Ho or Justin Houghton before. Are you still doing the same stuff you've done in camp as always, or have you heard just enough to maybe change up your training just a little bit?
Oh, I definitely do my research. I don't just come in, blind to the fight. I've definitely done my research, looked them up, seen who he's fought, watched video on him, you know what I mean? He likes to stand and bang. He thinks his stand-up's great. He's training with Trevor, I'm pretty sure. Trevor's a great stand-up boxing coach as well. He, like I said, he doesn't have very many fights from what I know. Doesn't have very many big names. Just throwing the facts out there, I'm not trying to talk any smack about him. But when it's all said and done, he's looking to make a name off me, we're fighting on Seth's card. Seth's always been buddies with Grudge. That he's always been trying to help out Grudge, the Grudge guys. There's nobody from my gym except from, me fighting on the card. There's no other way to put it, but the gym that I train at, we're looked at as like the black sheep here in Colorado. So
now, with all that you just said, Cam, I mean, you're obviously a name. Your last 2 fights were high-profile fights, televised and everything. We're coming into this fight against J-Ho. I mean, really, when you talk about everything you've just said and you think about it a little bit, what's in it for you? I mean, why take this fight to begin with if those are the circumstances?
We're in the fight game to fight. My manager, I'm just putting my faith and trust in my manager. Whether I'm a top tier fighter or not, that's what we're here to do, is fight and get paid to fight. I've been out of the game for a while. Took some time off, had a lot of different life-changing things happen and go on, a lot of personal stuff. And I've got more drive and more fire and more just bad intentions built up inside me than I had before. I feel like I'm brand new to the game again, kind of like when I very first started. And I've got to start somewhere, so I'm taking whatever I'm given. Beggars can't be choosers,
For sure. You mentioned your gym being the black sheep. Why do you think that is? I mean, it seems like a pretty reputable gym. Obviously, you have a great track record. What leads you to feel like you guys are being labeled as like a black sheep?
Oh, it's just funny, when you're looking at advertisement and recognition and stuff like that. Here in Colorado, we have the MMA awards and whatnot in Colorado, and just the stuff like that. It's just funny, everybody's linked together. It's just like one big group up in Denver. It seems like you got, Seth Daniels, Finn Bean, all the guys from, Team Wildman, Grudge, 303, Factory X, all those guys, they're trying to do big things and they're all practicing together, but we got guys down here in the Springs that are fighting just as big a name dudes as those guys, and we've even been put up against those guys, on a limb, on a week's notice, just not even knowing who we're going to go up against. I mean, Justin Guthrie's beaten Ian Berg on Seth Daniels' fight card with a week notice. He's beaten other guys from American Top Team that were supposed to be their number one guys. Ramiko Blackman just beat Dakota Cochran, and you don't hear nothing about that, who Dakota Cochran just beat Jamie Varner, who was the, WEC champ for a little while. I've fought Kid Cope, I fought Carlo Prater, I fought Alvin Robinson, I fought Tom Hayden, I fought with all these guys that are still in the UFC, and it's just funny. It's just funny. That's the only reason I say that, is that we're looked at like the black sheep.
Just the amount of coincidences. Cam, I definitely appreciate your time, especially this fight it's huge. I understand you're kind of looking at it as he's getting all the benefit from fighting you, but it's a big fight. Was there any sponsors you wanted to thank? Any friends, family members?
I just want to thank you guys for giving me the opportunity, to talk and whatnot. And as far as the Colorado scene, I can guarantee you guys it's going to be a great fight. I'm definitely going to be in shape. I'm ready to come back with a big bang. I don't plan on giving up my belt, and I don't plan on losing that night. So, hope to see everybody there. Definitely want to thank my sponsors right now, Rockford Fosgate, Springs Automotive Group, my coach, Drew Lawrence, and all my teammates. And thanks to you guys again for the opportunity and the advertisement.
Yeah, not a problem, Cam. Best luck to you, buddy.
Thanks, Cam.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Man, Cam's about his business. Little hard, I'm not going to say hard feelings, but there's some definitely little brother, big brother feelings going on right there. I guess that's the easier way to put it. I mean, it's really about regional, Colorado regional.
Yeah, and I think that I've heard that quite a bit from guys who are, kind of in different parts of Colorado, especially down south in the Springs. But of course, I mean, if Denver people are putting on an award show, and it's of course it's going to be more biased towards Denver. If there was an award show that was started by people down south,
and the award show, they did include Southern.
No, I know. I'm just saying, most of the people that are voting in it are from Denver, so there's going to be some built-in bias.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it all goes back to having to build a strong fan base foundation.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of talent down there.
We got to cut out, man. So we'll come back and continue to talk. This is the MMA Meltdown Radio Show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7. Welcome back to the MMA Meltdown Radio Show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7. We're talking some business on break.
Yeah, we're negotiating
Christian's over there like, what's going on, guys? You got a radio show to do.
Like, no, Christian, we're
negotiating. You're going to have to slam on the window. Just pound on it. Let us know we got to get back to business. But yeah, we'll talk about that, J-Ho. We're definitely going to talk about that. J Merck!
What up?
Man, what you think of last night's fight altogether as a whole?
They're pretty enjoyable. I mean, it was not like the most amazing night, but it was, what's that?
Was it worth the money?
I didn't pay for it, but yes.
Yes, it would have been if I would have paid for it.
Obviously people had a lot of expectations going into the
There was huge build-up.
So I think a lot of people were let down, but I enjoyed the fight.
So you think that the hype was the end result justified the hype?
Well, I think people had this vision in their mind of the two guys walking to the center of the cage and slugging it out, and obviously that didn't happen. And
that's what Diaz had in mind.
That wouldn't really benefit Condit to do that. He used a game plan that fit his skill set and neutralized.
He pulled the GSP.
No.
Yeah, he did.
No.
Just say it.
He threw a lot of strikes. I mean, he outlanded Diaz by like 45 punches or 45 strikes.
Why do you think there's so much controversy going on right now with this fight?
Well, I think people were expecting a war and they didn't get that, so they're pretty upset about it.
Slap fight.
And, they forget that this is a sports competition and that there's going to be strategy and tactics and skill involved, not just two guys running out and battering each other. I mean,
otherwise we'd watch boxing, right?
Otherwise we'd watch bum fights or something, which I do watch. But,
see, that's not a good image that's not a good image for the host of the MMA Meltdown Radio Show.
Check out World Star Hip Hop. There's some great action.
Now you're plugging websites that don't even sponsor us. We're gonna have a talk after this. You're fired.
But we were talking a little bit on the break about what's gonna happen with the next fight. I mean, whether Condit's gonna wait around for GSP or whether they'll do a rematch with him and Diaz, or, there's other guys in the division. Jake Ellenberger's fighting Diego Sanchez. If he wins that one, if I were him, I'd be pushing hard for a title shot. So I think there's a lot of exciting matchups to come in that welterweight division.
You think Condit has the right for first refusal for any match that they give to him at this point?
Yeah, I mean, Dana White already said that. He said that it's up to Condit. If he wants to wait for the title shot, he can.
But just about every example of every fighter who's been given the option to fight again or wait for the title shot has just chose to fight again because you can't really stay.
Well, the biggest thing it comes down to is these guys fight for money. And, if you're not GSP or Brock Lesnar or a couple other guys, you need to fight more than once a year to pay your bills and everything.
How much you think a guy on Condit's level gets paid to fight?
I think
just from the UFC, not sponsorship.
I think I don't know what his normal contract is. I think it was reported that he made 55 to show, 55 to win. But I think anytime someone fights in a main event, especially a big main event like this, they take care of them with a significant bonus. So I would guess Condit made over $500,000 for that fight.
Crazy. You know how long I could live off of $500,000? When we talk about these fighters' money like that, you know what I think of? I just think of Rocky Balboa leaving the slums to his nice little mansion with his fancy robot for his spoiled son. That's what I think about.
That's where it all went
These fighters
downhill
need to get back to the grimy style, to the grind.
That's what Marvin Hagler said. It's hard to get out of bed at 5 a.m. when you're sleeping in silk sheets. You know, once you go big time, it's hard to maintain that hunger.
I had a dream one time of sleeping in silk sheets. It was a nice dream.
You just want to get that robot, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. I want a robot.
Have you seen that robot? That thing's like probably 50 chucks right now.
Yeah, it's very outdated now.
Yeah. Yeah, that thing's, I'd rather have R2-D2 or whatever the heck his name is. But, you know, it definitely does. I don't necessarily think that, it causes some noise in the particular weight division. There's a lot going on right now in the UFC, just with titles on just about every level. You know, kind of looking at the UFC 143 fight, obviously, you know, Connor's going to be interested in the, Allenberger Diaz fight, or, Sanchez fight.
Sanchez.
And this is, when is that fight? The Sanchez-Allenberger? Is that next
weekend? That's February 15th, yeah, so next week.
The UFC blessed us with a grace period, with a down weekend here.
There's pretty much a UFC every weekend. So if you have a girlfriend,
I can't be shelling out 50 chucks every pay-per-view event. I pray for these free ones.
More than that, if you got a girlfriend, it's tough to negotiate watching a fight every Saturday night.
It is.
Like,
just from a family aspect, man, I can't get my son to sit down for fights every weekend. And I feel bad. He wants to watch cool, you know, Phineas and Ferb cartoons. And I gotta crush his dreams by telling him we gotta watch these two dudes punch each other.
Pants.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I don't have much going on Wednesday night.
Training, maybe? You're leaving New Jersey
Justin's
Wednesday.
Out. Yeah, that's true. I'll be in New Jersey. I probably will miss the fights. I'll get home. I don't get in until like 8:30. So.
What's Jersey famous for? Other than Jersey Shore.
Bruce Springsteen.
You like Bruce? Are you like Jersey Shore, Christian?
I've never seen it, man.
What? Thank goodness. What about you, J-Ho?
Not a fan.
And J-Ho's hanging out with us.
I thought you were auditioning to be on
auditioning.
Sure. Auditioning.
See,
auditioning.
That's karma. He clowns on me all the time because I make mistakes all the time.
I was just
and now he says
accentuating my words.
That's like a fight name. My first name's Al. My last name's Dishin. Al Dishin.
Someone zip this guy up.
Well, talk about something, man.
We're talking about the fights.
Oh yeah. We start talking about.
How do you guys feel about that the 135 division with Dominic Cruz? That kid that beat Jorgensen last night was a super stud.
Yeah, Henton Barral, he's very good. I still think Cruz beats him. Especially one thing is Barral looked to get kind of tired in that third round. 5-round fight with Cruz where he pushes the pace nonstop.
Yeah,
I think
Dominic Cruz is pound for pound one of the best fighters in my opinion. Just the way that he moves, his head movement, he's always active. I mean, that dude's cardio. That dude's crazy.
Yeah, Henton Barral's very good, though. I mean, he's a really good boxer, fantastic on the ground, showed good takedown defense last night. So that would be a good fight. I think they're going to try to groom him a little more, at least just from like a name recognition standpoint. I'm not sure many people know who he is yet. Last night was a good start. And I think maybe one or two fights on a main card, and he'll be set to go against whoever wins out of Cruz or Faber.
I mean, I remember back in the day when the UFC barely started getting its mainstream ground game going. You know, you can get into the UFC, you know, with 6-7 wins. And you're starting to see a little bit that now, you know, they're prelim cards.
Yeah, the guy who fought Dustin Poirier last night was 4-0.
Yeah.
And it looked like he started jiu-jitsu the week before.
Like an amateur style?
Yeah. Like he hit the ground and man,
but
you could be his jiu-jitsu instructor.
That's bad. That's horrible.
You got trying like a mounted triangle.
But that's good for you two guys. I mean, you know, you're 4-0. What? You've lost 5 fights in a row, Merc?
Yeah.
You know, that's good for you guys if they're starting to open up that platform a little bit more. You know, I would have thought that it was going to get a little bit more aggressive with everybody training to be a UFC fighter now. That's why Jay Merck wears the UFC hat.
Exactly. Well, mostly I try to trick women into thinking that I'm a UFC fighter.
Gosh.
I tell you, I'm a UFC fighter.
This guy says I trick women into liking me.
Yeah, main event fighter in the UFC.
You see, you can't hear Jay Merck 90% of the time talk about how great his smile is and how pretty his eyes are, and then come back and say that he has to lie to women about being a UFC fighter.
Well, when you're 5'3", you gotta, get creative with stuff.
Get some platforms.
I have my 6-inch platforms.
You agree now that I'ma Get You Sucker is a classic?
No, I said it was a funny movie.
It's a classic.
I wouldn't say it's a classic.
Have you seen
funny.
it?
I haven't seen it.
Bam.
Have you seen 8 Mile?
Yeah.
Oh, see? You're already done right there. Christian, you seen I'ma Get You Sucker?
That's a great movie.
Is it a classic, though?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know if that holds up as a classic.
You're out of bounds.
Well, a classic in a certain genre.
Let's give some tickets away. give some tickets to a fight away. Call us on the Talk About hotline, 303-297-1510.
We got the Talk About hotline. When am I going to get some free tacos?
Have you tried that green sauce that comes in the packets?
No.
It's not very tasty.
I like their cheesy gordita crunch. And the Mexican pizza. Pizza.
Let's take a call, because I'm tired of hearing you ramble on. I know you're in camp mode. That's why you're talking about Taco Bell. Jeff, El Jefe, what's going on?
What's up?
Chilling like a villain. Jeff, did you see the fights last night?
I did.
You from Colorado?
He hosted the fights.
I hosted the fights. It's true.
Is this Tusk?
It is.
Tuscan?
What's that?
Is Merc text messaging you telling you to call in?
You guys are desperate for some callers. I figured I'd be the third caller
He doesn't
today.
do us any good.
Yeah, you're the second caller today. Second.
You're the 14th caller, Jeff. You're lucky you got through, buddy.
The line's been busy all show.
What do you think about Roy Nelson, Jeff? Is he going to make it? Does he have a future in the UFC? Is he ever going to be a champion?
Man, I think how many people, Jared, did you say, follow him on Twitter? He's got 180,000 people following him?
Oh, my God. Well, if it was a popularity contest, it'd be one thing.
Well, I mean, it's a popularity contest, and I mean, you got to admit that was an entertaining fight, right?
It was a great fight.
Yeah, if you're an entertaining fighter and you have a fan base, you're going to stay in the UFC.
He's got a career in the UFC. I'm just saying that ultimately you do want to try to be champion at one point, right?
Can he be champion? I don't know.
No way.
Those guys at the top are pretty sick.
Do you think changing weight classes for him would be a good idea?
That one I wonder about, too. I mean, he's 245 he weighed in at?
Yeah, and last night was the smallest I've seen the dude.
How do you think?
He can definitely drop down. It would take some effort on his behalf. I don't know what he's like that.
Do you see him faring any better against John Jones?
You act like he's going to go right to John Jones, Merc.
You're the one talking about a title fight.
I'm saying he's never going to get a title fight.
No, Matt's talking about...
How do you stay with this kid?
Don't yell at me.
How do you hang out with this kid all the time, Jeff?
I know, he's an aggressive little guy, right?
He's the shortest dude ever with such a huge anger issue.
What are your...
the biggest thing, though, is all the chatter about the Diaz-Condit fight.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, break it down for us. What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on that is the judging thing. I don't understand why it's this big secret. Why don't they post the scores after each round? Everybody knows where you stand. I don't know why it's this big secret. Is it because they have to, they want the build-up so Bruce Buffer can announce, who the winner is?
I think they need to give themselves time to change their mind.
I mean, do you think that would actually have any impact on the actual fight, though? You think the fighters...
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think the controversy gets... I mean, first off is why not use fight metrics and just after every round you show... They do it on what do you call...
Fox?
What the hell's wrong with me? What's the one on Showtime called?
Yeah. Strike Force.
Yeah, Strike Force. They break down at the end of the round. They're like, oh, he landed this many shots, this many power shots, this many takedowns. I think they should take all the subjectivity out of it and just say, here's what happened in this round. Here's how many punches were landed, all the rest of the takedowns, all the criteria that you need. I mean, have you ever looked at those cute, quarterback ratings? That
Did you
stuff
say
is crazy.
Quarterback ratings?
Yeah, it's like I mean, if they can come up with an algorithm for that, I'm sure they can come up with something that would define who won a round.
Well, that's the biggest thing is I think that there needs to be a more clear criteria on what constitutes a winner because now everyone's watching the fight and everyone's got a different reason of why one guy won. Diaz moved forward. Well, Condit landed more strikes.
All right.
Yeah, but then they release the fight metrics after the fight. Why not during the fight? The judges get to see it, we get to see it, and then it's okay, here we go.
I feel like these judges get paid pretty well and are highly educated. It just comes down to a point to where, when it's all said and done, there's so many gray areas. Let's just say that I'm on bottom, throwing up triangles, switching to arm bars.
Is this Jared?
That's Justin.
That's J-Ho. Yeah. Let's just say that happens. But as a wrestler on the top, I'm controlling the position and sneaking some shots in there.
Exactly.
How do you flip the coin on that?
There's not a clear. There's no clear answer on how to score a winner right now. So everyone's got a different perspective on what's winning the fight.
I agree that there should be copy box or something like that, but I think there's no matter what system you go to, there's always going to be that gray area.
And I don't think I think the amount of strikes counted is something that needs to be looked at too, because there's a lot of guys out there just throwing jabs out there, not really doing any kind of damage.
Well, they break it down further than that. They do power strikes, significant strikes, things like that. So,
but are the judges judging based on those, on the power strikes, on the simple little jab?
I mean, they're supposed to be taking that into account,
I just think if you publicized it after each round, it would put an onus on the refs. It's all of a sudden it kind of publicizes what their job is too.
Yeah, I agree. Sus, man, I appreciate you calling in like always. I'd give you something, but I kind of can't. So when Jared gets home, he'll give you a free hug.
Cut me off.
You know what? Me and you, Sus, any day, buddy. Thanks for calling in, Sus.
Have a good afternoon.
Enjoy the Super Bowl, buddy. I don't know what he said to me, but if it was about my mama, you're going to have some words.
There's like 10 people talking at once there.
There's a lot of people
Things got emotional
on that conversation.
there.
You want to continue this whole UFC talk in this next segment?
I like talking UFC.
You like talking?
I like training UFC.
You like training the UFC? What about you, J-Ho? You like training the UFC?
That's what I do.
It's what I do! I'll start training UFC.
I was training Bellator and, you know.
Yeah, right. This is the MMA Meltdown Radio Show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7. Nice. This is the best song ever.
I'm fired up
If
right
I ever
now.
get to fight, it'll be to that song that I walk out to. Do it. Go crazy. Welcome back to the MMA Meltdown Radio Show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7. You can also stream us online at MMAmeltdown.us. Man, Merc, some heated conversation during the break. I don't know why you get so angry over the judging of these fights.
I'm passionate. I'm a passionate man.
And we were talking about things that could possibly improve the scoring of these fights, and you were saying that you don't think having UFC fighters or fighters involved in the scoring process is going to work out?
Not necessarily. I mean, I've said that before. I don't think it's about the individual. I think it's about the process. Training the ref or training the judges on what to look for and come up with a clear criteria of what constitutes a winner. Because right now you have 5 people watching a fight and 5 different views on who the winner is.
You know what is clear? Yeah, maybe. I'm going to ask what's clear?
What's clear,
kind
buddy?
of play around here, co-host a little bit with me? Huh?
Come on, go ahead.
It's clear that Fresh Fit Meals is awesome. You know, freshfitmeal.com. Go down there if you're training for a fight, if you're just trying to get into better shape. Enter Meltdown 10 for a 10% discount off your order. Nice. But man, I get all my prepaid lunches, breakfast, my dinners. I just put in the gym bag, take them,
Good
work
for
out.
guys lazy as you.
I'm pretty lazy. I don't know if you noticed. I got like a cramp.
Meals.
I got a cramp running here.
I know. Exercise is not your friend.
Hit up Johnny at freshfitmeal.com or call him at 720-369-4557. Let's take a call. Woo, woo. We got, maybe somebody's going to threaten your pretty face again. We got Mike on the line. What's going on, Mike?
Oh, not much about you guys.
Just hanging out, buddy.
Yeah, just calling to win some tickets.
You want to win some tickets?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, how about we give out a pair of tickets to the Mardi Gras card and to the Cold War cards? Would you go to both of those?
I'd go to both of them,
All
for
right,
sure.
Then you got to answer this difficult question that J-Merc is about to ask you.
Cameron Dollar is the main event against Justin Houghton for the 145-pound fight-to-win title. Who did Cameron Dollar beat to win the fight-to-win title?
Oh, do I get a multiple choice? I can't remember.
There's multiple fighters you can choose from.
I'm drawing a blank, man.
Think about it, buddy. Do you know of Cameron Dollar?
No.
On the local level, buddy, Cameron Dollar beat who? They said the name. Cameron said the name.
Did you listen to Cameron's interview?
Yeah, did you hear his interview?
I was, but I'm driving from Colorado Springs, and it was cutting in and out.
Oh, you sound suspect.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this. I'll give you a pair to the Cold Wars fight, but the Paramount you got to work a little, or the Mardi Gras card you got to work a little bit harder for, bro.
Give us a guess.
Yeah, guess. Just throw a name out there.
You can make up a name.
Yeah, like Al Harrington. What?
If that's the case, let's go with Rod Smith.
Oh, we got a loser. Good effort, buddy. Christian is going to get your information, and the Cold Wars event, I believe that's this weekend, Merc?
Mm-hmm.
You can have your tickets waiting at Will Call for you, buddy.
Perfect.
Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
Hey, at least he was listening.
People need to step up their trivia skills.
People need to step up their trivia skills or learn how to
I know I have
Google.
encyclopedic knowledge. Okay.
You kind of like paused a little bit before you kicked that question out.
I kind of paused?
You kind of paused. But since nobody answered that question, let's keep that for the next one.
Okay.
What do you think?
Sure.
So UFC judging, Diaz versus Conant getting a lot of, I've seen tons of crazy stuff being said. I seen some dude saying on Facebook that it shouldn't go to the judges, period. That if neither guy can win by the end of the fight, that it should be considered a draw.
Nah, that's silly.
That's just plain silly?
Yeah.
A little silly?
Yes.
Or super silly?
Very silly.
So what's Jay Merck's, the all-powerful Jay Merck's suggestion?
On what?
Man, you kill me sometimes.
On whether there should be judges or what?
The scoring, buddy. What's the scoring?
I just said it 2 minutes ago.
I can't do this, man.
I told you there should be a clear outline.
Who's going to determine that clear outline, though? Who's going to get together?
The athletic commissions and, and then the UFC.
Do you think that we need to get some judges in there that are specifically trained just for MMA and not necessarily boxing in addition to that?
Yeah, I mean, if you're bringing in a guy who is a boxing judge, he's not necessarily knowing what to look for. He's not going to understand the finer details of the ground game. But that's what I'm saying. I think there should be a pretty intense training for the judges, learning about each sport or each aspect of the sport, really having a thorough knowledge of the history of the sport and just a clear criteria. Again, a clear criteria.
You're not being very specific. Clear criteria is a pretty blanket effect type of.
Okay, so is a takedown worth? What is a takedown worth? If I take you down,
what is that worth?
People are giving that too much. If I'm on top of you, that doesn't automatically mean I'm winning. So then they have to understand what they're watching. If a guy's on his back, that doesn't mean he's losing. Doesn't mean he's winning. You have to base by case basis.
Especially with jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah, if a guy's on his back and he's being really active and he's threatening with submissions, not just attempting sloppy submissions just to look like he's being active, but attempting submissions, keeping the guy on the defensive, then you judge that as a winner. But there has to be an understanding of the sport to do that. So yeah, I mean, to me, it's just the training. It's not necessarily who the judge is. It's the process to become a judge and what they're looking for.
That's a little bit more clear. That's what I was looking for in the beginning. If you would have just said that from the get-go, we wouldn't have had all this anger and animosity between each other. We got another caller on the line. Who we got, Christian?
Ryan,
the Italian stallion? That makes no sense. What's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. Just enjoying some Giants.
Nice. Yeah. What flavor? Is that the one you want at the word show?
I mean, Ryan wins everything. If you're a fan of MMA, then you want to be like Ryan, because the kid calls into shows. He wins free tickets. When was the last time you paid for an event, Ryan?
UFC.
Man, that was $135.
That was $135, yeah.
You get Powered by Giants. Available at your local King Supers, local
throwing in plugs now.
Super Plug, Circle K convenience stores, and 7-Eleven.
So what do you want to talk about, buddy?
I want to talk about last night, Ed Herman's victory.
Yeah, that was awesome. He's on quite a win streak. What did you think of his performance?
He looked good. He started slamming some shots that messed up his eye, but he was able to take him down and get that rear naked choke. He looked really impressive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he kind of, he's a bit of a brawler and just a really tough guy, but he's shown to be really slick on the ground with his last win over Kyle Noak with that inverted heel hook. And now getting the rear naked choke, he's definitely got a slick ground game.
Absolutely.
Who would you want to see him fight next?
I'm thinking Alan Belcher.
Wow, that's funny you said that. I was just talking to someone about that, and they mentioned that idea as well, and I'm all for that fight. I think that'd be a great fight.
Yeah, because I don't think you want to give him like a Paul Harris or a Weidman, but yeah, Belcher would be great since Belcher's known for his Muay Thai.
Yeah, definitely. I think that would be good. Belcher's got a good ground game too, so I think that'd be a really good fight and definitely worthy for Herman at this time now that he's won 3 fights.
All finishes too, so yeah, he's on a nice roll.
Hey Ryan, you want some tickets to a fight, man?
Sure, why not?
Of course you do, right? What about the Mardi Gras brawl?
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that card.
Christian, you should have this kid's information memorized by now. All he does is win. He beat Doc Alex in the quiz.
That was not Ryan's finest performance.
No, that wasn't.
He won by default.
I want to go to some of the fights, man.
I saw Doc Alex a week after. He's like, yeah, I beat you on MMA Meltdown. He goes, that was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous. Both of you guys were very disappointed in your performances. I hope next time we do something like that and you're on it, you kind of study a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Less trash talking, more studying. How about that?
All right, so let's ask him the question.
Ask him the question.
Cameron Dollar's fighting in the main event for the 145-pound fight-to-win title. Who did he beat to win the fight-to-win title?
Like Transformers in the background.
Lightsaber battle.
Optimus Prime style. 5 seconds, Ryan.
Was that Alvin Robinson?
Yes, nice.
Rod
You just looked that up, didn't you?
Said Rod
No, I did
Smith.
not. I was there for that fight.
All right, Ryan. Appreciate you calling in, man.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Man, Alvin Robinson. Hey, that was kind of a talent interview with Cameron Dollar.
Yeah, he definitely seems like he has a chip on his shoulder.
There's some passion there. You could tell that.
Fired up.
Hatred.
Fired up at some of the disrespect that he's receiving from the media or for the fans or from the UFC.
I just think Denver's a more heavily populated place. I mean,
yeah, it is. There's many more gyms. I mean, his gym is very good though. They got some talented guys. I think everyone understands that though and knows that they have a good gym.
The drive down south is what's hard for some people.
Yeah,
I mean, because unless you're a hardcore MMA fan, or you're some kind of a relationship to one of the fighters, that trek to
I mean, 80% of the people at the MMA events are family and friends.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, I made that stat up, but
that's a fact.
That's got to be
that's
close.
A factoral.
I mean, there's just a lot more activity going on in Denver.
Do you think, we've talked about the amount of the cards that the UFC are going to produce this year. Do you think that it's a good idea for the local promoters, the regional promoters, to step that up too and put on more shows? I mean, Seth's putting on 2 stand-up shows.
I mean, they got to do what they what they can afford and everything.
Can the fans afford it?
Yeah, I mean well, like I said, the thing for the promoters is to get different guys on the cards. If you have the same guys on the card all the time,
big draw.
You're asking the same people, again, their family and friends, to continue to come out.
That's a very good point. I never.
You mix it up, get a bunch of different guys. You're always going to have a different mix of people come to the fights.
That's very.
I make a lot of great points.
That was one of the best ones. I'm gonna write this one down so I can remember.
Take note of
that.
You
make sense sometimes.
Take note of that.
Yeah, I think that's why people need to utilize the MMA Meltdown Show. We give away free tickets. How many tickets did we give away?
See some new fighters. Man, Vinny Lopez fighting on the Cold War card. He's ready to.
Hey, let's talk about that real quick. Vinny Lopez. How big is this fight for him?
I think it's
his first win under his belt.
Yeah, I think it's every fight's important for a fighter who has goals to get to the higher leagues. Obviously, Vinny's pro career didn't start off well for him, but he kept at it, kept working hard, and got a great win last time. And he's continued that great training. Got a chance to go out and train with Vitor Belfort. So this puts him again closer to where he wants to be.
And again, fans, if you want to go to the Cold War event, it's Saturday, February 11th. Starts at 1 p.m. For more information, contact Keith at 720-275-7972. We got another caller, Christian. We could knock out one. We could knock out one more caller.
Ryan? I thought you said Peter.
Yeah. Let's go with Peter.
Yeah, hi, how's it going?
What's going on, Peter?
I just wanted to, I wanted to be the first caller of the day. I know you guys are a couple hours in, so I figured I'd be the first one in.
Jeff Suskin beat you to it.
Who?
Yeah,
I've never heard of him.
I believe this is my nephew, Peter Straub.
Jay Merck's just using all his family time minutes.
My mom's calling next.
No, J-Ho's mom called in. Merck's got his family calling in. Mom calling.
What's going on, Peter?
I just wanted to, call and show my support for the radio show. I appreciate what you guys are doing here. It means a lot.
What are your thoughts on the fights last night?
I'm pretty surprised at the backlash that everyone's given Carlos Condit. I think that just because he didn't go forward in the fight doesn't mean he didn't win. I think he did a good job of taking Diaz out of his game plan. A lot of kicks and a lot of sticking and then moving back, and I don't think that Diaz won that fight. I don't think he won any more than the first round.
I think Carlos Condit's best chance to beat GSP is on the emotional high that he's on right now, because he's going to have a little bit of a chip on his shoulder.
That'd be like 10 months from now. That'd be a long time
to
ride emotional high.
That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be very good for him. He's going to have to smash on somebody next and still figure out a way to keep that chip on him.
Do you think he has a better chance of beating GSP than Diaz did?
No.
I don't know. I think GSP would have beat both of them. So.
Yeah. I think Diaz had a better chance, though. Just his style kind of... Well, not even now. I think Condit's style kind of mirrored GSP's in a way last night. So it was kind of almost a preview of what Diaz GSP would have been.
But you don't think that GSP is just a lot better of a fighter than Diaz? Or you think Diaz is better?
Tell you what, GSP has the wrestling, and we all know that's the key, Peter.
He knows how to win fights. He doesn't He knows how to get that win without exerting as much energy as he has to, as a normal fighter would typically have.
Matt's a GSP hater.
I'm not a GSP hater. I like the dude. I have a pair of his shorts.
You hate Canadians.
I like Canadian bacon.
This is America, and in America we cheer for Carlos Condit.
I didn't cheer for GSP. Nice. Peter, we appreciate the call, man.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Have a good day.
You too. Thanks, Peter.
This is America. We cheer for Condit. That's borderline racism right there. What'd you think of the show, Merc? Gave some tickets away.
I thought it was a good show, other than you getting us here late.
Man, real? For real?
I gotta cover my own butt. Bill, you hearing this? Matt got us here late. Well, it had nothing to do with me.
Nice. Hey, the fans got a nice introduction to some our intro music, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Now we got a nice new office building. MMA Meltdown's doing big things in 2012.
Spicy pickle.
Make sure you check out our newly designed website, MMAmeltdown.us. Looks legit, huh?
Yeah.
Can't wait to get some of your blogs up there, some of your video fight blogs, training camps, things like that. We got a lot of stuff going into the website. Check it out. We got a lot of fighters doing their own thing on there, blogs, training blogs. Things like that. Obviously, the shows you can catch on there, articles, original articles. But thanks for tuning in with us. Enjoy that Super Bowl. You got the Giants or the Patsies?
Patriots.
This is the MMA Meltdown Radio Show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7.